My dear junior advocates, now in this video I want to explain to you how an execution petition should be filled up in the city civil court or the equivalent court at the region. Execution petition will be filed for executing a decree awarded by a civil court based upon the money suit or the arbitration in the under the Chit Funds Act. An award passed by an arbitrator also has to be executed only in this way. And now I want to show you how to fill the execution petition. Now coming to this, the execution petition number should be left blank and in suit number or ARC number has to be filled up of the trial court where the decree was passed. And here the plaintiff becomes the decree holder, and in the arbitration award also the petitioner becomes a decree holder in whose name the decree stands, and versus the judgment debtor. Judgment debtor is the person who has to owe money to the decree holder and his name has to be filled up. And coming to the main petition, I bar B, that is the name of the decree holder, has to be filled up here. Then hereby apply for execution of the decree herein below set forth. Here you have to fill the number of the suit, that is OS number so and so or ARC number so and so. And here name of the plaintiffs, then here name of defendants, then date of decree, whether any appeal preferred from decree, that is sometimes the judgment debtor challenges the decree in the appellate court and get a stay also. So in that case any appeal is preferred, then you have to fill up whether it is yes or no. Then here payment or adjustment made if any. So the decree, you might be knowing that the decree has a lifespan of 12 years. So within 12 years the decree can be enforced or executed any time. So in case the decree holder doesn't file EP and later on he goes to file EP after 6 months or 1 year like that. So in between, if he has got any payment from the defendant, that is the judgment debtor, then he has to state what sort of payment he has received or any adjustment from other accounts or something like that has to be stated here. Then whether the decree has been transferred in favor of any person or not, because this is also one of the modes. Decree can be assigned, can be transferred in some other name. If the original decree holder name is there, then you have to fill up that no decree, the decree has not been transferred. Otherwise you can say the transfer has taken place and in whose name the transfer took place. So these particulars have to be given here. Then coming to the next point, previous application if any with date and result. In case a decree holder already filed a EP and it was by any chance got dismissed for default, or what has happened to the decree, what happened to the previous application has to be stated here. Then only the court will come to know if any EP was already filed based upon this decree or not. And here the next point is that amount with interest due upon the decree or other relief granted thereby together with particulars of any cross decree. So any amount with interest has to be stated here, and this is the very important column where the amount has to be specified. What is the amount outstanding, what is the amount he has to receive, the decree holder has to receive from the judgment debtor. And here amount of cost if any awarded, that is amount of cost awarded is by the court passing the decree. So any amount of cost alone should be filled up in the column. Then against whom to be executed. Normally a decree can be passed if there are more than one defendant against all, but when it comes to the filing of EP, the decree holder has got the prerogative to choose any particular judgment debtor and file an EP against him alone, him or her alone. So that is why against whom to be executed, the court is seeking the details. So if the decree holder is filing the EP against all the defendants, then all the defendants' names, that is judgment debtors' names, have to be mentioned here. Otherwise, if he chooses only one judgment debtor, that is JD1, JD2, JD3 like that, D1, D2 like that. So the particular person name alone has to be filled up here. And mode in which the assistance of the court is required. Here, based upon the money decree, if the EP is filed, then he has to state whether he needs attachment and sale of any property, or he seeks arrest of a person in case of a male member who is a judgment debtor, or any other mode has to be filled up as per the by mentioning the clear provision of law under Order 21. So the rule, whatever he is asking, that specific rule under CPC has to be filled up here, and he has to state clearly what is the mode under which he is seeking the assistance of the decree EP court. Then this is the schedule. This schedule contains the certain columns. So here what happens is that the decree holder has to specify by giving a list of the property owned by the judgment debtor. So serial number, description of property, interest of judgment debtor, encumbrances. So in case he is going to give a list, he has to specify what is the description, what is the property he is seeking attachment and sale. So here he has to put, if it is movables, then he has to state the list of movables, TV, fridge, washing machine and what not. Every item which is movable can be stated here. And the interest of judgment debtor, if he is the owner of those articles, those movables, they have to state that he is the owner. Then encumbrances, if there are any encumbrances there, the decree holder has to state whether there is any encumbrances or not. So these last two columns apply where the property is normally an immovable property. For movables, generally he will be the owner. So he has to specify particularly those two columns by furnishing particulars, whether if he is a owner of any vehicle, then he has to produce the RC book. Then if it is immovable property, he has to state whether any encumbrances is there. So in case of vehicle, any finance is given by any finance company, hire purchase finance company, he has to state it there. And in case of any immovable property, he has to furnish the encumbrance certificate stating that so and so the property is under encumbrance or hypothecated or mortgaged anywhere. So that those particulars have to be filled up here. Then coming to the last aspect, this is the declaration given by the decree holder, and here the dated at the region and the date, and counsel for petitioner, that is decree holder, has to sign it here, and the petitioner and the decree holder has to sign it there. So this is the EP, and coming to the docket aspect, as you all know, it is a standard format, and those particulars what we have given already in the cost title and this thing have to be repeated here, and stating that, and again the counsel for the decree holder name and other particulars have to be given, and he has to state that counsel for decree holder. So this is the end of the execution petition. So we will take up the next topic in our next video. Thank you.